Hey everyone, welcome back to Risk, Rights, and Rounds. Yesterday was a big day for the Second Amendment at the Supreme Court. There was both a conference and a decision that came out, so let's talk about what happened. By now, I'm sure you've seen that the Supreme Court ruled on the U.S. versus Hamani case. The question in this case was if the government can use the unlawful user of a controlled substance as a means by which to strip someone of their constitutional rights, particularly the right to keep and bear arms. The decision on this case was unanimous from all 9 justices, with the answer being no. This is a huge win for the Second Amendment and for our gun rights. If you want some good detailed breakdown of this case and all the details around it, I'd highly suggest checking out the content put out by Jared over at Guns and Gadgets and Braden Langley. Both of them have put out some great content that went live yesterday. They go through a lot of good detail and broader perspective on this case. In the meantime, there's still a lot of other things sitting in front of the Supreme Court. They also had a conference yesterday where they're going to decide what cases they're going to accept and what cases they're not. It was the second to last conference of the session before they break for summer. So there's only one more day that they're going to have conferences, which is next Thursday. So on the docket yesterday, the big cases that we've been following are Duncan v. Bonta, which is a mag ban case out of California, Grant v. Higgins, which is a assault weapons ban case out of Connecticut. Tied to that is also the NAGR versus Lamont case. You also have Veramontes versus Cook County, which is an assault ban case coming out of Illinois. And then Gators Custom Guns versus Washington, which is a mag ban case out of the state of Washington. These have been pushed and reconferenced numerous times. I think Duncan v. Bonta is about to set a record. This yesterday would have been the 20th conference for that case. Out of those 5, the case that's had the least amount of conferences, which is still a lot, is Grant v. Higgins, which has had 14 conferences. If you'd like to get details on these particular cases and what's going on with them, I'd highly suggest checking out the content coming from Washington Gun Law. There's a lot of great content around these, and if you want to get into the nitty-gritty, that's the place to do it. Outside of the conference, we're also waiting to have the ruling from the Supreme Court on the Wolford v. Lopez case, which has to do with concealed carry laws related to private property and the vampire rule. We're expecting that to come out any day now. Outside of what's happening with SCOTUS, there's also fights still going on for our Second Amendment rights. In Virginia, the GOA, the GOF, and the VCDL have petitioned the Virginia Supreme Court for a hearing to hopefully get an injunction on Virginia's new assault weapon laws, which are set to take effect on July 1st. In other news, the DOJ is currently investigating the city of Philadelphia's police department for allegedly unconstitutionally revoking carry permits. I'm sure we're going to be hearing a lot more about this one soon. In Florida, the Attorney General, State's Attorney, and the Law Enforcement Commissioner have given up the fight against unconstitutional waiting periods when purchasing a firearm. This would have been great to have as a ruling coming from a judge, but a win is still a win. So waiting periods are going away in Florida, so that's great news for Florida gun owners. All that to say, there is a lot happening legislatively around the Second Amendment. So stay tuned. We'll keep bringing you updates on that. And also, if you're going to be going to Gun Owners of America's Goals Conference in Iowa, that's happening on August 1st and 2nd. I'm going to be there. Would love to meet you. Say hi. In the meantime, keep standing up for our Second Amendment rights, and we'll see you soon.